JC Simsport is coming off of one of their best weeks in NASA Rallycross, with not only Zachary Goddard winning in Futures in his debut with the team, but also their first 1-2 finish in lights since 2023B with Joey Morisette and Josh Mertz. With Kieran Liflander back in the fold and plenty of hungry drivers in Futures, repeating this feat will prove to be more than difficult. Will they rise to the challenge, or will another driver stake a claim on victory lane? Let's find out as NASA Rallycross Futures and Lights heads to Daytona Beach, Florida, and the famed Daytona International Speedway for the 6th race this season. Our venue for today is the virtual Daytona International Speedway. Opened in 1959, North American Simulated Auto Racing first started visiting the World Center of Racing in 2018B. At 0.86 miles in length, this circuit is so unforgiving when it comes to the sleeping policeman curbs. Watch out for slowdowns. We have seen so much action here, especially because this venue is one of the original layouts when iRacing released in Rallycross debut. In NASA Rallycross, our format is as follows. We are finishing open practice now, which will lead us into a 3-lap single-car qualifying that splits the field equally into 5-lap heat races, with the Joker lap taken once. The top 2 will transfer to the feature automatically, and the winner will get 3 bonus points, with the runner-up getting 2. The rest of our drivers will be sent to the semi-final, also 5 laps with 1 Joker lap. The top 2 will transfer to the feature, and the winners will receive a bonus point. This will set our grid for our 10-lap feature race, where points are awarded and trophies are handed out. Unique to NASA Rallycross, 2 Jokers are taken during the feature. The first season of the NASA Rallycross Futures continues tonight live on the Automo Sports Network. With Victor Vallee in the production truck and also next to me in the commentary box, my name is Ethan Halsey as we welcome you to Daytona Beach, Florida. Cameras all season on ASN are brought to you by Whiplash SimCams. Be sure to check them out at facebook.com/WSimCams. Thank you, Andrew Cardinal IV, for your continued camera support. The intro music to the NASA World feed was produced by Alex Abetti. If you like what you see here on the Automo Sports Network, be sure to like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss any of our future live streams. And also be sure to hit the bell so that way you're notified of every time we're streaming. We are live every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. With that, why don't we bring Victor into the booth? Victor, last week we saw complete dominance from JC Simsport, winning not only the Futures race, but coming 1-2 in the Lights event. Quite a week they had last week. You think we're going to see much of the same dominance from a team this week, or are we going to see some new players up front?
You never know with this series. It could be a lot of dominance from JC Simsport once again, but I'm thinking a little bit more on the dominant side from the Moist team, led by Brian Sawyer, because I know that team's always strong here at Daytona. And with that said, I would be keeping my eye on those guys to put the fight to them. But of course, the last week, JC Simsport did indeed sweep at Atlanta at the hands of Zachary Goddard in the Futures race, and then of course Joey Morisette picking up his first win in Lights. So definitely a lot of new faces and new winners here, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another new winner tonight in both Lights and Futures.
It's going to be an eventful night here at Daytona, the World Center of Racing, as they always call it, as we have currently our qualifying underway. Blake Smith currently sits out in front on top of the board, 41.562. That is 4/10 faster than second place, JP DeFino at 41.9. What a great lap time from that 098.
Yeah, and that's nothing we didn't expect out of Blake, because we've seen his pace all season long so far. He's been one of the fastest guys. Unfortunately, just hasn't put it together fully yet, but I think if there's any night that he could be done, it could be tonight, of course. And I don't want to jinx him, because I think I've jinxed him at least 3 times this season, so I'm not going to jinx him again.
Blake Smith has yet to make it to victory lane this season, despite showing plenty of speed in almost every event he's run. Definitely looking to snap that streak tonight. Take me through that, Victor. You know, being able to run at the front nearly every week, but not being able to get to victory lane, how frustrating does that get over time, and how much hungrier do you get?
You know, honestly, I kind of have a little bit of good experience with that with the USRL series I run in on Saturday nights, which is an Xfinity Series league. Uh, Definitely been running towards the front most of the time, and then you just you show the pace, you think you have the car to win, and then it just doesn't happen. Something happens where it doesn't work out. You get frustrated after a while, and you start trying a little bit harder and harder, and then you just realize, well, you know what? Let me go back to what was working. And the minute you go back to what was working is the minute you finally pull it off, which, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I absolutely dominated on Saturday night. So, you know, if Blake does what he knows he's got to do and doesn't try to push the issue or anything, he definitely could be the winner tonight.
Most definitely. It looks like we do have one more car on track, and it looks like he's just getting off. It was JP DeFino who's running some practice laps there, trying to get himself warmed up for the event. Coming in as the points leader with the orange plate on. Curiously enough, JP won the first two events of the season and has not won since. Looking to desperately try to get back to victory lane as he continues to fight for the championship. With that, qualifying, it looks like has come to a conclusion. So let's get started with our notoriously wild heat races. The grid for heat number 1 is as follows. Blake Smith, your pole sitter, will sit on the front row alongside Eric Kaplinger and Zachary Goddard in the 29, last week's winner. Chris Lunan in the 86 will start 4th. Jake Robichaux in the 69, 5th. And Dylan Babcock in the 257 will round out your field. Representatives from all teams in this race, JC Simsport, Moore Speed Time, and Saints and Sinners, as we are green here at Daytona. Great start for Smith in the 098. He is going to get out to a really nice lead here coming out of the first turn.
Yeah, beautiful start for Smith, and that's exactly what he needed to do. Just his marks here, and that's exactly. So far, so good for him. Everybody through cleanly. Where's that chaos we've been talking about? We got Robichaux back here and trying to get around Lunan. Robichaux didn't get really a good start there, but he should be able to work his way back up through the field as we hit the dirt section here on the oval.
And you know Robichaux will find the way around this track, as we like to call it, the Robichaux line. The most aggressive line possible on any track is usually where you're going to find that 69 car.
Absolutely. He is on the gas and just slinging that car around most of the time. As we take the first lap here, it looks like Kaplinger taking his Joker right out of the gate.
As well as it looks like the 69 of Robichaux as well.
I did see that yellow car.
Yeah,
look at him around the
outside. Right, it looks like got a little bit wide. Might have hit one of those sleeping policemen. We talked about that during the track walk. Those sleeping policemen on this track are very brutal, can get your car very upset, and can usually send you flying outside the racing line.
Yeah, and I do have to correct myself. That was not Kaplinger taking the Joker. That was Robichaux. Had a little bit of a time to scoring error on my end there, but got that fixed. And Robichaux doing a really good job here as we see Kaplinger and Goddard.
Kaplinger and Goddard both diving for their Joker. Their strategy is now complete. Looks like Blake Smith up at the front also took his Joker, and he is clearing away the fastest car in this.
I don't think he actually did. Unfortunately, I don't think he did. I'm looking at the timing scoring. Does not show he has this Joker done yet. So he's just pulled away.
Yeah, he is really pulling away. I really thought he took the Joker there with how far in front he was. But clearly he's still got a little bit of time left to go. 2 more laps here at this time by when he crosses the start-finish line.
Yeah, no reason to take it yet. I mean, might as well just stay out front. You still have that clean air on the nose of that vehicle. Just take advantage of it when you have it, and then save that Joker for the end, just in case you make a mistake.
Now, unlike last week, Victor, the Joker doesn't cut off nearly as much time as it did last week, where it essentially shortcut half of the racetrack, cut off that whole fishbowl corner in Atlanta. So here it's a little bit tighter, the Delta.
Yeah, definitely a tighter Delta as we see Jake Robichaux get way out of shape there, but he hangs on to it.
My goodness, nearly hit the tire barrier there. He was thankfully able to correct that just in time before disaster struck.
Yeah, and he's done a really good job of gathering that thing up as we see Blake Smith. It looks like he's going to save his Joker until the final lap. The right move right there. Kaplinger
Yeah, it looks
still
like we have a
has Goddard
solid
right
battle
on.
brewing
Yeah.
for the transfer spot between the 277 move over at speedy time of Eric Kaplinger and the number 29 JC Simsport car of Zachary Goddard coming onto the final lap. Goddard's been hounding down Kaplinger. He's lost a little bit of time, but only one mistake.
Kaplinger a little bit.
There it is.
There it is.
The commentator's curse comes into play as Kaplinger hits one of the sleeping policemen.
And that might be a slowdown for Kaplinger. We're going to have to see. It looks like he's been able to get away with that without too
Goddard
much
going
of
to take a look down to the inside, nearly made contact there, but not quite. And it looks like Kaplinger will just barely stave him off.
Yeah,
As Blake
beautiful
Smith
job.
comes around, will take his Joker on the final lap and will come around to win heat number 1. Eric Kaplinger will finish second and also move on to tonight's feature event.
Last week's winner, Zachary Goddard, going to be the best of the rest. He's going to have to make it through the OCQ tonight.
He is indeed. Zachary Goddard, Jake Robichaux, Chris Lunan, and Dylan Babcock are going to have to find their way into the feature through the semifinals tonight. As let's get your grid for heat number 2. Points leader JP DeFino starts on the front row alongside Tom Grady and Ed Boyles. Behind them, it'll be Jeff Cartwright, Joseph Pasucci, and Tal Bronstein. Keep your eye out on that dark red car on the inside with the orange plate, JP DeFino, two-time winner this season and also your points leader, looking to maximize his points gap over the second place Zachary Goddard. As green flag flies, we are green for heat number 2, and a great start for that 845 of DeFino.
And a great start for Grady as well on the outside.
Oh, there's a car flying off track way wide. I think that was the 7 of Tal Bronstein.
It sure was. And Grady up to second place here. Defended perfectly against Cartwright, Boyles, and Pasucci there.
Ooh, DeFino went a little wide on that jump.
He
Looked like he came off of it sideways. Good correction by the 845.
That's
You know, contact between Cartwright and Boyles giving a little nudge, trying to edge his way past Jeff Cartwright in the 55.
White wide was Grady there. Looks like he got out in the dirty stuff there, where it hasn't wore down at all, and that kind of cost him a little bit of time on catching JP DeFino here.
As we come around the end of lap number 1, Ed Boyles is going to take a Joker this time by, and he's going to come out right in the thick of this transfer battle between Boyles and Grady. In fact, he's going to cut right in front of Grady.
Yeah, and that's not what Tom Grady wanted to see right there. He wanted to get away from that as he follows
they're both going to hit the sleeping policeman there.
Followed him right into the sleeping policeman there. And that's going to cost both of those guys a lot of time here. Cartwright's right there. Grady needs to pull away here. He needs to get some sort of gap.
DeFino in great shape now with Grady being held up by Boyles. I would imagine Grady would probably be jokering this time by if I were him, and it looks like he may wait here and keep himself in traffic.
Yeah, if I was Grady, I would definitely joker right there, but I know he's got Brian in his ear, and Brian probably has a better idea of what's going on than I do, as he's been doing this for a long time, and he's the master of Daytona. And you already got Kaplinger through one heat, why not another one, right?
Yeah, try to play it safe here. Just try to get that 535. Make sure he stays in front of Cartwright in the 55 there. As always going to hit the policeman. Nearly lost control of the car there. Great save by the 535.
Gathered it back in and kept it off of Ed somehow, some way. Great driving by both of those guys to get the space.
That looked very near catastrophic there. And this time he will take the Joker, get out of the wake of that 38 car. And now out of his own. Now his sights are set on JP DeFino in the 845, who has cruised away to a lead. Oh, came out the jump very sideways, and he's going to go way wide.
Oh, my
Tom
goodness.
Grady to the lead. Oh, but DeFino's not done yet. Grady went a little wide there. He's going to try and stick his nose in there. Can't quite make it work. Let's see what he could do into this sharp turn here.
I don't know why DeFino's working so hard on
it. Boyles is looking on the inside.
Yeah,
here comes Boyles into the transfer spot.
Right out of the way. I don't know why DeFino's
a catastrophic lap for your race leader.
I just have no idea why he was pushing that hard when he has the Joker to do.
He's going to take his Joker this time by. Let's see where he's going to come out. He should be back out front, but boy, that was nearly catastrophic.
Oh, it's not over yet, though. Oh, Grady over the curve.
Big hit over the jump, sideways. Into the grass. He's going to keep it straight, but here comes the 38 of Boyles. They're going to make contact.
Oh, this is messy.
This is for the transfer into the feature event. Boyles on the outside, a deeper line, trying to use the momentum on the outside to muscle his way around Tom Grady on the final lap here. Now he's down on the inside. It's going to be a drag race. Grady just barely gets clear. What will Boyles do to get into the feature?
Try to hang it around the outside. Can he do it?
As JP DeFino will come around and, oh, look at this. Jeff Cartwright jokered and stole the battle from Grady and Boyles. Jeff Cartwright will move on to the feature.
Who would have thought that was about to happen there? Jeff Cartwright taking advantage of the chaos.
Taking advantage of the two battling, beating and banging to Joker on the last lap and sneak his way into the feature. That's going to send Boyles, Grady, Pasucci, and Bronstein to the semifinal. With that, we're going to get our grid for heat number 3. Klaus Kurtzer will start at the front. Alongside him will be Brandon West and Eric Dubois. Matty Grove and Wyatt Pearson will start behind them. Now, if you've been watching along with us, Eric Dubois has had a very unfortunate string of luck. He's been fast almost every week, but has run into trouble nearly every week. So you know that 000 is going to be hungry tonight.
Yeah, and we saw a guaranteed victory slip out of his hands at Charlotte. So hopefully no mistakes here like we saw at Charlotte from him.
It's the black and rainbow car on the outside. Green flag is in the air. Klaus Kurtzer with a great start in the 77. But look at his teammate, Matty Grove, behind him in the 472. Also a solid start, going to pick up a few spots.
Yeah, he's going to kind of follow him through here, get up to P3 thereabout.
Maybe even P2, not quite. Yeah. Almost had it, though.
Oh, and here comes Brandon West.
Big, and he might get second. Brandon West,
and we have Klaus Kurtzer in the wall.
And around. Kurtzer's in the wall as well, your race leader.
So
chaos early here in heat number 3.
Out of nowhere.
Matty Grove out in front. Kurtzer, after riding the wall a little bit there, will make a little bit of contact with the 000 of Eric Dubois and send him wide.
A little bit of a shoulder check there, kind of a little bit off camera there, but we did see it at the end part of that. Good little shoulder check there, and not a big deal for either of those guys. It looks like Matty Grove's going to go ahead and joker right out of the gate. Don't know about that one, but it could be the right move here. We'll see. Get away from that chaos a little bit.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It was how chaotic the first lap was. You figured you want to get out of that, kind of get in your own line, in your own race, without having to worry about everybody else. The unfortunate victim of all that was Brandon West in the 888, who ended up very far behind. And meanwhile, Wyatt Pearson, the 17, has gone around.
Yeah, spun off of the jump. Worst place to spin, one of the newcomers to the league. Unfortunate for him, but we will definitely see him in the OCQ later on.
That jump has been quite tricky this week. A lot of drivers having a very tough time going over it. I think part of the difficulty, Victor, comes with the fact that there is a dirt turn right in front of it, so it's very hard to angle yourself right on that jump.
Yeah, there's a dirt turn before and right after, so you have to get it right, and you have to be fast with it, too. You can't just take it and...
Oh, 000 wide off the jump in the wall is Eric Dubois.
And he's going to gather that back in, but... there goes the transfer spot right out in front of him. And so I don't think he's going to have a chance to that transfer spot this weekend. Or in this session.
He has won heat races in the past 2 events in a row. This week looks to end his streak, unfortunately. As Klaus Kurtzer, currently running in the 77, in second. Now he's going to slide through the Joker. Let's see if he's going to get Matty Grove here. It looks like he will.
He should by a good margin here as we take 2 to go.
And Kurtzer slides off the jump. He's squirrely. Thankfully, right in the middle of the track, so Matty Grove didn't really have any window to get around him.
Yeah, I think Matty's just happy to ride behind him here the best he can. It looks like Klaus is kind of taking a really weird line there, but gathered it back in now. We'll see what happens here.
At 472 has some fantastic racecraft. He knows how to race well, seemingly never qualifies very well, but that 472 was almost always in contention during races, and once again has proven true. Started at the back of the grid, up to second in a transfer spot, now fighting for the win of the heat. Final lap, this time by Grove and Kurtzer, currently transferring in as of now. Grove trying to see if he can get that extra bonus point if he can pass Kurtzer on the final lap.
Yeah, Kurtzer is driving the wheels off of that thing, and so is Matty Grove back there. Look at him way out wide, getting the power down and getting sideways out there. It's not the fastest way to do it, but it is a very cool way to do it.
Absolutely. As Kurtzer will come around, the S is here. Will come around the final turn, and a convincing win for the 77. Definitely wasn't a smooth road. Hit the wall in lap 1, but was able to correct it as he'll come around the final turn and win heat number 3. Matty Grove will also be moving on to the feature event tonight. Eric Dubois, Brandon West, and Wyatt Pearson are going to have to find their way to the feature through the semifinals this evening. And with that, we do not have a heat number 4 tonight, so we're going to be heading right in to the semifinal. We're going to have 2 of them. Here is the grid for your first semifinal. Zachary Goddard in the 29, last week's winner, looking to get back into the feature. Eric Dubois, Ed Boyles, Chris Lunan, and Brandon West make up your grid. This is a star-studded race here, Victor. This one's going to be really competitive.
Yeah, absolutely. Last week's winner and the guy who should have won at Charlotte right there as well. Brandon West having a lot of pace tonight as well. A lot of guys in this race. Chris Lunan and Ed Boyles, they've shown pace as well, so I don't think there's really a favorite in this race. I mean, maybe Zachary Goddard since he's the hot hand, but that's the only guy I can really say is the favorite to make it on.
Boyles very nearly made the feature. He was 1 spot short with Jeff Cartwright sliding just barely in front of him. As we await the green lights, we are green here in semifinal number 1. Great start for Ed Boyles in the 38 on the outside. Got a really solid jump. Let's see if he can carry that momentum with him.
Yeah, and a great start for Chris Lunan in the back there. That black and highlighter yellow and purple car right there on the outside. Going to make contact with Ed Boyles.
He's going to make contact with Eric Dubois, and he'll go around. All 3 cars in the back of the field around.
Yeah, and that's going to
And with that, Ed Boyles and Zachary Goddard, as of now, can relax. They're going to move on to the feature as long as they don't make any mistakes.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the best thing for these guys. Just take it easy. You know you have that gap. It's a 4-second gap, or thereabout, to Brandon West in 3rd. Just take it easy here. You don't have to push it.
And Boyles just came over the radio saying, we just can't crash each other.
That's right.
Hoping to stay out in front there, maintain their gap, and they'll both make it to the feature. Unfortunate circumstances there for Dubois, who looked quick, but looked like just Lunan might have come across his nose a little bit there and unfortunately sent them both around.
Yeah, it just seemed like 2 cars going for the same piece of real estate there, and unfortunately the realtor can't sell it to 2 people. Gotta sell it to 1. And when that happens, that's where you have a crash.
Goddard, so far fantastic run for him. Unfortunately just barely missed making the feature in on his heat race. Now going to have to come through the semifinal, which means he's going to start at the back of the feature. So going to be a tough run for him to get that win again, but if he's going to do it, it's going to be him. He's won 2 races this year. Yeah,
we see Brandon West pushing really hard trying to catch Ed Boyles here with 3 laps to go. He's actually made a little bit of an inroad here, about half a second into that gap on Ed, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
It's definitely going to take quite a bit from the 888 to get up there. Likely a mistake. I'm not sure if he'll be able to get up there on pace itself. Currently about a 4-second delta sits between the 2 cars, so quite a bit of time he's going to have to make up.
Yes, he's kind of cut it down to about 3 seconds I see on my timing and scoring as of right now, but that's only half a second a lap. That's not going to be enough.
Now, worth noting, he has not taken his Joker, although I don't believe the 38 of Boyles has either, so they're still on equal footing there. So no strategy really going to be at play for Brandon at his advantage. So he's really just going to have to run the race of his life here if he's going to want to catch up, or he's going to have to hope Boyles or Goddard slip up somewhere on the track.
Yeah, he's definitely making some progress here, but not as much as he needs to. You know, a half a second here, half a second there, when you are 3 seconds behind, will not get it done.
Yeah, much to the chagrin of Brandon West, Zachary Goddard has pulled away from Ed Boyle, so these two really aren't fighting for anything. So neither of them really pushing the cars right now, just trying to make it around, get some clean laps down, and try to get themselves into the feature race.
Yeah, and for Zachary, it's just some hot laps right now. No one around him at all, no pressure. Just figure it out and get it done. Joker this lap. Make sure you joker this lap. Don't want to lose this race.
As Eric Dubois once learned, definitely make sure you joker.
Yeah, I say make sure you joker right here because you haven't. If you don't, you're absolutely gonna not make it.
Goddard will take the joker this time,
as he should,
and will win his semifinal and will move on to the feature race tonight. Ed Boyles will also be moving on to the feature race after getting it stolen from him by Jeff Cartwright earlier in the night. Unfortunately for Brandon West, Chris Lunan, and Eric Dubois, they're unfortunately going to be sent home and are going to have to try again next week to get into the feature.
Yeah, just an unfortunate set of circumstances for those gentlemen right there.
Yeah, all three of them had pace to be able to make it, just got stuck into an unfortunate incident that really didn't give them very much in terms of being able to qualify in. As we're going to head into our second of the two semifinals. Tom Grady in the 535 starts up front. He will be alongside Jake Robichaux and Wyatt Pearson. Then behind them will be Joseph Pasucci, Dylan Babcock, and Tal Bronstein. Grady, another one of those drivers, also had one stolen from him by Jeff Cartwright there as we go green. And a great start by that 17 car, Pearson on the outside, the newcomer, as Babcock, very squirrely there, got in. It looks like the 7 of Tal Bronstein, and that's going to send him wide around turn 1.
Yeah, look at Wyatt Pearson up to second in a transfer spot right now, doing a great job after what was a nightmare of a heat for him.
And meanwhile, in the back, Bronstein over the jump and around. Grady also around in the outside wall.
And Robichaux off the track. Put Wyatt Pearson everywhere.
Wyatt Pearson, the newcomer to NASA Rallycross, currently sits in front, although he's got a NASA veteran sitting right behind him in Jake Robichaux, who you know he'll take any line necessary to get up to the front.
Absolutely. And it looks like Jake's going to go ahead and joker right out of the gate here, get himself into some clean air. That's probably the right move for him right here.
See if he can get a decent gap on that 17 with some clean air. Dylan Babcock in the 257 in a great position to transfer as well, currently in the 3rd spot. Pearson not too far away, so within an earshot. If gets a good run here, he might have something for the 17 car.
Yeah, if I'm Wyatt here, I'm just hitting my marks and just taking it easy because you're in 2nd place, you're in the transfer spot. You haven't taken your joker yet. Wait until you have a chance to where you're going to put yourself in a clean trap and just stay ahead of everybody here. It looks like he's going to do it right here. Great move because it's going to put him out in clean air once again.
Will do, although on the outside is the 69 of Robichaux. A fantastic lap from Robichaux will set him into the lead, and we'll have him pick up the 1 bonus point if he can hold the spot.
Yeah, that was a great effort by Robichaux to push really hard there to stay in front of Pearson there. I was not expecting that at all, but great job by Jake, 100%. Just turned up the wick there and it paid off for him.
Well, a fantastic lap there. It really goes to show you how much that difference that clean air makes with him taking the joker a lap early, got himself out in front, did not have to sit behind the 17 car, and was able to put down the lap times he knew he could put down.
Yeah, and Wyatt's kind of catching him here a little bit. He's kind of staying right there in his tracks, doing a pretty good job. It's about 3/10 off the last lap.
And big event for Dylan Babcock in the back. He goes around. Very aggressive off the jump with the 257 as Grady nearly gets into him as well. So very aggressive line. He took off the jump there trying to pick up as much time as possible. Unfortunately, sent it a little too hard.
So I wonder if Pasucci has anything for Pearson here. I don't think he does. He's too far back right now.
Is yet to take his joker in the 015, so he does have that delta with him. White flag is in the air this time by the 69 of Jake Robichaux out in front. Pasucci is going to opt to wait for the last lap, the element of surprise. So barring a mistake from the 17 here of Pearson, I don't believe Pasucci's going to have enough, but you never know. We'll see.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't make any
that
mistakes.
was nearly
Wow,
it right
that
there.
was gonna
Nearly
be
got into the tire barrier. You probably
near
couldn't even
disaster.
fit an index card between the two.
Yeah, he got it gathered in though, and that's exactly what he needed to do. Keep it clean. Don't hit the walls. Don't hit the tires. You got the transfer spot, buddy. Just bring it home.
Coming around the final turn, Jake Robichaux fights to see another day. Robichaux will win semifinal number 2, and Wyatt Pearson will be making his first NASA Rallycross feature appearance here at Daytona. Great run for the 17 car.
And a great run for Robichaux as well. Getting it done in the OCQ, showing everybody else how it's done.
Unfortunately for Pasucci, Grady, Babcock, and Bronstein, you're going to have to wait till next week to get into the feature. Unfortunate run for Grady, who's made the past couple of feature events in a row. Sad to see him miss, especially after that great heat race he had, and then just bad luck in the semifinal.
Yeah, just kind of had his own incident there in the first lap, and that cost him.
All right, with that, our drivers are getting ready to warm up for the feature, so we're going to warm up as well. We'll be right back from Daytona Beach, Florida.
You're so interesting.
I love your browser history.
I like that you're not hiding anything from me.
By the way, nice IP address. I like your neighborhood.
You are so special. This ad is just for you.
I learned so many things from you.
You are so generous.
With your personal data.
Switch on privacy, switch off trackers and viruses. Go to nordvpn.com. NordVPN. Safely be you.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
absolutely be doing what he has to do. He has to go for the championship. He has to recover the points that he lost. He's down the race, takes the lead in the 12. What a move. And he takes the lead and holds it.
Side between these two in turn one. This is going to get spicy.
Turn one, over the jump to begin the first lap, clog at the inside line. McFarland contact between them. They are still side by side. This opens the door for Wetz. He can't make anything happen. Over in the 26, he has not won in quite some time. Dragster acing the entry to turn one, up Eddie to the inside. And Magnus gives him a nudge. Grip strip on the inside, Phil. Wetz had a little bit better run, but looks like Rocky's going for the spot.
You're so interesting.
Welcome back, everyone, to Daytona Beach, Florida, and the famed Daytona International Speedway for race number 6 of the NASA Rallycross Future Series here in Daytona. We are getting set for our feature event of the night. Quite a chaotic set of heats and semifinals has led us to here, the grand event of the night. We're gonna have 10 cars racing here for glory, for the trophy, and for all the points. With that, we'll bring up a quick couple of sponsor plugs as well while our drivers are finishing their warm-ups. Cameras all season on ASN have been brought to you by Whiplash SimCams. Be sure to check them out at facebook.com/WSimCams. Thank you, Andrew Cardinal IV, for your continued camera support. The intro music for the NASA World Feed was produced by Alex Abetti. If you like what you see here on the Automotive Sports Network, be sure to like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss a single race on our live streams or on our short-form content, courtesy of Jess Rakowski. Make sure to hit the bell as well so you're notified of all of our streams. We are live every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. With that, we'll bring up our schedule for the week here on the Automotive Sports Network. Tomorrow evening, the NASA Rallycross Contenders Round 6 will be here at Daytona. That'll be 9 p.m. Eastern. You'll have Justin Robichaux and Brian Sawyer in the booth for that one. The Torque Sports Car Series got off to a bang last week in Daytona. They move on to round number 2 at Monza in Italy. That'll be at 8:30 p.m. Eastern this Thursday. You'll have Josh Mertz and Victor Vallee in the booth for that one. The Grand Series for NASA Rallycross, the NASA Rallycross Supercars, will be here at Daytona this Saturday afternoon. That'll be at 2 p.m. Eastern. You'll have Josh Mertz and Brian Sawyer in the booth for that one. And lastly, you'll have me and Victor once again for our NASA Rallycross Futures and Lights doubleheader. Round 7 will be at Crandon. That'll be at 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, respectively. Victor, looks like warm-ups are coming to a conclusion here shortly, but as we kind of finish up our warm-ups here, who's your pick to take home the feature win tonight?
Honestly, I think I'm going to go with a little bit of an underdog here. I think it's going to be Jeff Cartwright. He's shown a lot of good pace today. He's had a really good, smart head on his shoulders. Stole with a transfer spot in the heat. He's going to be starting P5 in the feature. I believe that's going to be the outside second row. And he's going to have a really good shot here to get something done, especially with the chaos we've seen. I also wouldn't count out anybody like Eric Kaplinger or Zachary Goddard, of course, as well. All of those guys that are out there right now, Klaus Karutzer, all of these guys have a great shot at winning this one tonight.
Jeff Cartwright in the 55. If he was to bring home the win tonight, that would be the second driver to win for Saints and Sinners this year. His teammate JP DeFino, the points leader, has won twice. For me, Victor, my pick is going to be the 098 of Blake Smith. Now, he seems like the pretty easy pick. He's been pretty dominant all evening. Pole sitter, won his heat pretty convincingly. However, still is not a winner yet in the NASA Rallycross Future Series. Looking to get his first career win in the series. He's definitely hungrier than anybody else in this field, and I think he's going to get it done tonight in that 098 car.
Yeah, certainly so, and I wouldn't count him out either. Anybody in this heat, in the feature, has a great shot to win tonight.
A lot of fantastic cars racing here tonight. This is one of the more stacked fields we have. while our drivers are finishing warm-ups, let's take a look at your current driver standings. JP DeFino currently leads by quite a nice margin over Zachary Goddard, although that could get erased pretty quickly with a couple of bad mistakes. Eric Kaplinger sits in third, last spot on the podium, tied with Zachary Goddard for second. Matty Grove, Jake Robichaux, Lucas Hill, who isn't here tonight, Blake Smith, my pick to win the race, there in seventh. Eric Dubois, Chris Lunan, and Tom Grady round out your top 10 in points. Let's take a look at constructors as well. Saints and Sinners Racing currently leads that category. Slaypex Racing by TWRS currently sitting in the second position. Move over at Speedy Time in third. Saints and Sinners Racing Speed Bumps, probably my favorite team name in this series, is in fourth. Turtle Motorsport, and then the two Slaypex alternate teams right behind them. Times in warm-ups. Are you surprised? Blake Smith tops the speed charts at 42.135, 0.2 of a second faster than last week's winner, Zachary Goddard.
Yeah, and he's shown pace all night, as you said, and he's just putting laps together here, and doing a very good, consistent job, keeping it clean. I have no problem in seeing him win because I think he's got the car and he's got the pace to do it tonight.
If anyone's going to get it, it's going to be the defending winner, Zachary Goddard. He is going to be starting pretty deep in the field, though. He's going to be starting seventh, so he's going to have a lot of work ahead of him to climb up. It'll be in the third rows, I believe, in the middle position. So yeah, definitely not the best starting spot on track. Yeah, he's going to need quite a bit there.
Being in the middle, oh man, that's just, you're asking for trouble, unfortunately. And he's going to have to keep his nose clean on the start.
All right, and with that, warm-up has concluded. Let's get our lineup for tonight's feature race. Blake Smith starts at the front. In the front row with him will be JP DeFino and Klaus Kurtzer. Eric Kaplinger, Jeff Cartwright, Matty Grove, Zachary Goddard, Jake Robichaux, Ed Boyles, and Wyatt Pearson round out your field. Worth noting as well, the top three from your feature event tonight will get to race in the lights event later on this evening, so a lot to race for in that instance as well. As we await the lights to drop, we are green for race number 6 of the NASA Rallycross Series. Smith with a great start to feel on the outside. Kepler gets into the rear. Smith nearly sends it around. Here comes Zachary Goddard in the 29. Where did he come from? Up to the lead in the JC Simsport car.
He kept his nose clean while everybody else had a little bit of mayhem happen to him. Kaplinger in the back of Smith into DeFino, and everybody scattered, and the seas parted for the 29 JC Simsport machine.
And Jeff Cartwright in the 55 went around in the back, unfortunately, so a lot to come back from for the 55 car. Started 7th this race is Zachary Goddard, and by turn 1, he was leading the race. What a turn of events for the 29 as he's going to take his first Joker this time by.
Yeah, I like that move for Zachary right there, taking the Joker, getting away from Blake Smith and everybody else, as we see Klaus Kreutzer and company also back here. I think Klaus took his Joker as well.
Oh, DeFino squirrely off the jump. It's going to open up the door for Kreutzer in the 77. Looking to try to get himself an extra position up into third.
Oh, and here comes
the 277 Kaplinger. We're 3 wide, heading down the straightaway into the asphalt corner. My goodness, I know we see 3 wide regularly on the super speedway version of this track. I did not think we'd see it here tonight.
Yeah, 3 wide on the high banks, but not 3 wide on the road course. That's not where you normally see it. But these guys hanging it out and doing a great job, as we see Zachary Goddard in the background there taking his second Joker already. His strategy is done.
Zachary Goddard opts to conclude his strategy early. Now it's going to be all up to his driving. No cars remotely in his zip code thanks to his 2 Jokers. Now he's going to have to watch as everyone else is going to have to chase after him.
We got this hornet's nest right here around Eric Kaplinger, all the way up towards Blake Smith there, JP DeFino in this mix. Just so many guys back here in this hornet's nest. Nowhere to go. You can't run from it.
A very thick battle, third on back. DeFino leads this group like the cork in a bottle. He's got a lot of cars sitting behind him currently. You have Klaus Kurtz right behind him, Ed Boyles, Wyatt Pearson, who started in 10th, has picked up quite a few positions himself. Robichaux and Grove, the two Slaypex cars back to back. And then lastly, you have Jeff Cartwright all the way in the back, who spun on lap 1.
Yeah, you look at that positions gain. Up 6 spots for Goddard, up 3 spots for Boyles, and up 3 as well for Pearson. Everybody else either maintaining or falling down the order. And as we see Kaplinger all over the back of JP DeFino right here.
And Goddard's going to round the final turn. Since we didn't get to do it in qualifying, Victor, why don't we head on board with Zachary Goddard and take us through a lap here at Daytona?
Yeah, absolutely. As we see him go over the jump. And now you have to fling the car to the left and then right back to the right. It's a double right apex here. Get it as close as you can to the sleeping policeman. Get to that grass on the right side. That's where all of the grip is. And then now you're going to swing it back to the left and through this hairpin of a corner onto the dirt. And while we're talking about this, I'm going to have to jump off on board.
Yeah, Blake Smith
has
got
caught
right
up
behind Zachary Goddard. He really caught up there. I was going to say, we didn't see it on our screen because we were watching Goddard on board, but Smith was right behind him, and he still has another joker to take.
And here he goes. He's going to take the lead.
He's going to take it right there. Blake Smith to the lead in the 098 car. What a great run for him there. Really was able to whiz right past Goddard with no effort at all.
Yeah, I don't think anyone expected that, and I believe that's only his first joker of the night for Smith. The pace in that 098 car, insane. As we see Eric
still has a whole other joker
spot.
delta left to take. That is a fantastic run for him. What a great, I mean, you look at his lap times, 42.4, 42.1, 42.3. He is laying down some heaters trying to keep himself up in front. And it looks like the move over at speed time car, Eric Kaplinger in the back, got very swirly in the background.
Yeah, and he just lost 2 spots here to DeFino and Boyles. That's going to cost him the transfer spot to go to lights. And speaking of lights, that 42.1, that's not too far off the time that we saw Brian Sawyer and company running in practice for the lights race here. So keep an eye on that. Blake Smith could be challenging for the win and for the podium in lights as we see Robichaux get around Cruiser here.
Great pass by the 69 to Jake Robichaux. Took the Robichaux line once again, as he always usually does, to get past drivers. And getting right around Kurtz there, and he's going to slide himself up into provisional 6th place. There's still 1 joker left to take. Looked like it's going to be a good night for there for that 69.
I was going to say, he's going to have a really good shot here. I would, if I'm him, I'm taking it on the last lap.
Someone to watch out for, someone who just took his joker now, Matty Grove in the 472. He always notoriously takes his jokers very late in the race. He just took his first one there, still has a whole nother one. I think he's going to leap past likely both the cars in front of him. Maybe even get a couple more.
All depends on where it shakes out here. When you take the joker, you get a little less straightaway speed. So it kind of sets you up and compromises your next lap into the jump there. So you have to be careful when you take those and time them right so you don't get ran over from behind. And it looks like he's done a really good job of that tonight.
Come around 2 laps to go this time by. The 098 of Blake Smith has checked out quite a bit, although he's wide off the corner. Going to open up the door for Goddard, although bear in mind he still has 1 more joker to take. Although we'll keep an eye on him to make sure he takes it and doesn't do what Eric Dubois did at Charlotte.
Yeah, and Robichaux took his joker right there with 3 laps to go, and he's going to get
up to 5th. It looks like he's going to get 4th as well, down to the inside of Boyles, side by side. He's going to sit behind him here. Let's see what he does into the sharp turn.
Ooh, good move right there.
Good corner. Going to try to stick his nose in there. He's going to have a good run here into the final turn.
Got to the back bumper, but not enough right there. Going to have to see if he can get a move done into the hairpin here. Looking to the outside.
Look on the outside. Try a crossover here.
Over under, yep.
Over under. There goes the 69. Robichaux contact with Boyles. Nearly sends him around, but he's able to corral it back in as we head to our final lap.
Wow, this is good racing back here. Don't count out Matty Grove from this battle either. He still has the joker to take. But up front, it's all Blake Smith.
Blake Smith over-countered early adversity with an early issue with a bump and run by Ed Boyles. Blake Smith is a first-time winner in the NASA Rallycross Series.
Now we're gonna have to watch
Zachary
this
Goddard
battle
will
back
have
here.
a fantastic run finishing on the podium himself. JP DeFino will come out to round out the podium. Roche fourth, and look at this last minute pass at the end. It looks like Kaplinger got Boyles, and I think Grove might have as well. Let's see where timing and scoring sets the 472.
P7 for Grove, just barely behind.
Barely
Ed
behind
Boyles.
Boyles, didn't
Yeah.
quite get him there. Great run tonight from Blake Smith in the 098, dominant all evening, and he will have a shot not only at the win tonight, of course, but also at our lights event later. And with the lap times he was putting down, he may be very competitive over there.
Absolutely was, and hats off to Blake Smith, putting down some heaters tonight. So was Zachary Goddard and JP DeFino, but Blake Smith looking like Superman out there tonight.
A great run for the 098, the Saints and Sinners Racing Speed Bumps driver, doing better than even his primary team drivers tonight in JP DeFino. So a great run for that 098. He was hungry for first win, definitely had the pace a couple of weeks in a row to get there, and finally is able to bring a trophy home.
Yeah, that he was.
Now, let's see if we have anybody for interviews just yet. It looks like we don't have anyone in the media pen just yet.
Should be able to bring JP in here. See if we can move him up.
And JP is up to the media pen along with Blake Smith. So let's get JP DeFino into the ASM booth. Hey JP, this is Ethan and Victor in the ASM booth. You got us?
Yes, I do.
Well, JP, a solid run here for you tonight. Thankfully, it looks like you're going to be able to maintain your points lead. A solid podium finish for you, keeping the orange plate on the car. Take me through your night tonight. Seemed like a pretty quiet night. Ran your own race and was able to get it done.
Oh, it was very stressful though, because I knew points was on the line for this one, and I knew Goddard would want to be coming in as fast as he possibly could. During the heat, it was just get out ahead and be as clean as possible. And luckily, I had my all of the team in the heat with me, and so that helped. And then in the feature, we had an unlucky start. Looks like Smith got pushed, and unfortunately, that also pushed me, and that gave Goddard the chance to take the lead. I think if we would have had a clean turn, I don't think Goddard would have gotten ahead, and I possibly would have jokered on the first lap too. But other than that, it was a little stressful, but came home with at least third, which is very good.
Yeah, great run for you tonight. And real quick, I'll pop the driver hat off and I'll put the team owner hat on for just a second. Blake Smith driving for your team for the Speed Bump squad, bringing home his first win for you guys. How does that feel as a team owner to have a first-time winner in your ranks?
Oh, it's amazing. I saw what he was able to do, and I had a feeling he was going to take it. It's amazing to get random drivers that you see on in the officials and pick them up as quickly as possible before any of the other teams see them, and and then I got lucky with that.
Yeah, definitely looks like a star in the making there, does the 098. He was mighty fast tonight, basically dominated the whole race. Victor, you have any questions for our third place finisher?
Yeah, I mean, I was watching the feature, of course, and the battle you had with Kaplinger and Boyles and everybody there, that was incredible. Talk me through that battle and just how that all went down for you.
Oh, I was at that point once Boyles got in front of me. I was not expecting it at first, and he basically told me to joker right away, because otherwise I would have been held up a little bit, and so that was a good start to joker with him, and then I got lucky with Kaplinger into the right-hander into the dirt. I got the inside line, and I just hoped for the best. Unfortunately, we made a little contact. To me, it looked like he didn't think I was there, so he got scared with that. It looks like, but I hear he did a good save.
He did indeed. It was a pretty solid save he had there. Well, JP, with that, who would you like to thank for your third place finish here tonight?
I would like to thank Team Watson Racing setups, of course. With them always the entire team being very helpful with each other. Saints and Sinners Automotive, Yellow Speed Racing, and Tomioka Racing, Supreme Performance, my Saints and Sinners Racing team for everyone that showed up tonight. We did all of us great strategies, and of course, thank the wife and kids.
Well, thank you for coming to talk to us, JP. We hope to see you next week, and maybe even see you later tonight here in Lights as well.
Oh, I hope so too, but it's gonna be tough.
Certainly will. But if anyone's gonna be able to overcome the challenge, it would be the driver with the orange plate. Well,
Yeah.
so we'll hopefully we'll get to talk to you soon, JP.
You too.
That was JP DeFino, our third place finisher. With that, we're going to bring up our silver medalist in Zachary Goddard to the ASM booth. Zachary, this is Ethan and Victor in the ASM booth. You got us? Appear to be having a little technical issue here. We're going to...
I got you guys.
Try to send. Up, there we go. Up, we have you, Zachary. Welcome to the ASM booth. Started 7th here tonight, finished 2nd. That is a fantastic drive, if I've ever seen one. Take me through just that first lap there with the seas parting for you, being able to rip right around the inside and go all the way from 7th to 2nd place, nearly to the lead.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that right off the start. Somebody got into Blake, I believe, and just opened that spot right up for me into P1 for a couple laps, but Blake had the pace on me all night. This isn't one of my best tracks. I was just happy that opened up for me and just tried to stay smooth.
And coming off the win last week, your first for JC Simsport, now you get to put a silver medal in the list of your trophies that you've collected for the team already, which is quite impressive. First 2 runs for you. Just take me through your race as a whole there. I know you had pretty solid waist ring pace, and it looks like Blake Smith was just able to get around you there with only a couple laps left.
Yeah, I started out struggling in practice. I was about a second off Blake and was able to find the tiny little increases in time throughout the night and finally found something there at the main.
Yeah, it looks like you definitely found speed enough to be able to get 2nd. That's definitely a fantastic drive. Victor, you have anything for our 2nd place finisher tonight?
Yeah, Zachary, I mean, it looked like kind of a boring race out there for you. You're away from all of the chaos. I mean, besides the start, I mean, I don't think you really had much of any issues in this race. But talk me through seeing Blake Smith come up in your mirrors and just absolutely blow by you. I mean, honestly, I was personally surprised by the pace of Smith. I don't know if you were or not.
No, I 100% was. I saw he was getting into the 41s there, and honestly, that kind of sealed the deal for me. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get that. I was lucky to hit the low 42s, but yeah, I tried to take those 2 jokers early to stay ahead of all the chaos because I knew that middle sector can get pretty hectic here.
Yeah, definitely a hectic track here at Daytona, especially with that jump and a lot of really tight corners, so it can get pretty hairy pretty quickly. Who would you like to thank here tonight for your 2nd place finish, Zachary?
Oh, as always, got to start off with a wifey here and the JC Academy and Simsport team, and we now have a new sponsor, Crown Creamery. Logo looks pretty good on the car, so big thanks to them, and hopefully we're making them proud.
I wouldn't be more proud with a 2nd place finish. That's a fantastic run for a new sponsor getting to dip their toes into the world of NASA Rallycross. Always great to see. Well, thank you for coming up, Zachary. We hope to speak to you soon.
All right, thanks, guys. See you.
That was our 2nd place finisher, Zachary Goddard. And with that, let's bring up the man you've all been waiting for. Let's bring up our first-time winner, Blake Smith, to the ASM booth. Blake, this is Ethan and Victor in the ASM booth. You got us?
I hear you loud and clear.
Wonderful. Well, you pulled out your Kieran Liflander impersonation tonight. Absolutely dominant performance for your first ever win in the NASA Rallycross series. Just take me through your race as a whole and how it feels to finally get that monkey off your back after having pace the past couple of weeks and just unfortunately coming close but no cigar.
It feels really, really good to finally be on the top step of this podium. The SNS 098 was bad fast uh, throughout every single session. I put in a lot of practice throughout the previous week trying to refine my pace, and I've always felt really strong here at this Daytona configuration, and clearly it showed.
Yeah, that was something that a lot of the drivers were saying. They were quite surprised by your pace tonight. I know you usually are in the upper echelon pace-wise, but tonight you were just seemingly on another level, nearly up there with some of the lap times. Even the guys in lights that'll be coming up shortly were being able to run. Just take me through kind of, your regimen, how long you were able to put in to be able to get your times to where you were getting.
I think over the past week I probably put in about 300 laps here. And on a more macro level, I think a lot of the pace here at this track just comes down to bravery in the first sector and just maximizing as much speed through the dirt sector as you possibly can. Once you get it really hooked up, it feels pretty easy, but working your way up to being able to go flat out through that first chicane and then over the jump, it takes a lot.
Absolutely. Well, Victor, you have any questions for our race winner?
Yeah, actually, with the pace you had tonight, you were able to catch Zachary before you even took your second Joker there. Talk me through that. Were you surprised to catch him there, or were you just kind of like just slowly reeling him in and just being like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna catch him here, and I'm just gonna Joker and go right on by?
I know he didn't show as much pace as I and the top 1% of the field had shown up to the in qualifying or in the heat race. And then I know in the last warm-up session he started to slowly find his speed. But not to toot my own horn, I kind of felt like I was in a world of my own this entire race. So I wasn't super surprised that I started reeling him in. If anything, the trickiest part of that whole middle sector of the race was with that how high the track temps were. It was a bit harder to maintain the optimal line through the asphalt sections, but I was pretty confident. I want to say around lap 4 or 5 that I was in pretty solid control of the race, and as long as I didn't throw the car off the track, that the win would be mine.
And indeed, able to come back from Zachary Goddard, splitting the season half into turn 1 to be able to come up with your first ever win. Who would you like to thank for your first career win in here in NASA Rallycross?
I'd like to thank everybody at Saints and Sinners Racing just for giving me this platform and opportunity to race with everyone here. My lovely girlfriend Cora as well, and then all my friends on the fighting game side of my sort of esports career. Everybody at Bracket About Nothing. All the people I mentioned would not have. I would not be in the position I am here today right now without those people. So I'm really appreciative.
It's always great to have a village behind you going through your esports career. Always great to have. Well, thank you for coming to talk to us, Blake. Hopefully we see you in the lights race here shortly.
Hopefully, it would be really nice, given the pace I have, to be back on the podium at the end of the night. So who knows? Maybe I'll see you two again.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, best of luck to you, Blake. We'll see you shortly, hopefully.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, that was your Futures race winner, Blake Smith. First career win in the NASA Rallycross Series for him, and also the 4th new winner this season in Futures, which is always pretty cool. All right, with that, we're going to step aside here and gear up for the NASA Rallycross Lights race number 6 here at Daytona. We'll be right back here from Daytona Beach.
You're so interesting.
I love your browser history.
I like that you're not hiding anything from me.
By the way, nice IP address. I like your neighborhood.
You are so special. This ad is just for you.
I learned so many things from you.
You are so generous.
With your personal data.
Switch on privacy, switch off trackers and viruses. Go to NordVPN.com. NordVPN. Safely be you.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to NASA Rallycross Lights here at Daytona International Speedway, the World Center of Racing in Daytona Beach, Florida, as we gear up for our 6th week of the season here for our 5th NASA Rallycross season. And as our drivers are finishing up practice now, we'll go over a couple of sponsor plugs for us. Cameras all season on ASN are brought to you by Whiplash Simcams. Be sure to check them out at facebook.com/WSimcams. Thank you, Andrew Cardinal IV, for your continued camera support. The intro music for the NASA World feed was produced by Alex Abetti. If you like what you see here on the Automotive Sports Network, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our live streams or our short-form video content courtesy of Jess Rakowski. If you want to be notified of everything, be sure to hit the bell as well. We are live every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. That will pull up our schedule for ASN as well. NASA Rallycross contenders will be following suit. Round 6 will be at Daytona. That'll be at 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. You'll have Justin Robichaux and Brian Sawyer in the booth for that one. After a resounding week number 1 for the Torque Sports Car Series, they will return for round number 2 at Monza. That will be this Thursday evening, 8:30 Eastern. You'll have Josh Mertz and Victor Vallee in the booth for that one. The crown jewel of NASA Rallycross is this Saturday afternoon. NASA Rallycross Supercars Round 6 here at Daytona will be Saturday afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern, with Josh Mertz and Brian Sawyer. And lastly, me and Victor will be right back with you for Futures and Lights doubleheader next Sunday, 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern respectively at Crandon. And as we're finishing up practice, just in case you've just joined, let's go over our format for this evening. In NASA Rallycross Lights, our format is as follows. We are finishing our open practice now, which leads us into a 3-lap single-car qualifying that will split the field equally into 5-lap heat races, with the Joker lap taken once. The top 2 will transfer to the feature automatically, with the winner getting 3 bonus points and the runner-up getting 2. The rest of our drivers will be sent to the semifinal, also 5 laps with 1 Joker lap. The top 2 will transfer to the feature, and the winners will receive a bonus point. This will set our grid for the 10-lap feature race where points are awarded and trophies are handed out. Unique to NASA Rallycross, 2 Jokers are taken during the feature. The 5th season of NASA Rallycross Lights rolls on tonight, live on the Automotive Sports Network, with Victor Vallee in the production truck, and also next to me in the commentary box. My name is Ethan Halsey, as we welcome you back to Daytona Beach, Florida. Well, Victor, we saw an eventful race here in Futures. It saw Blake Smith bring home the checkered flag. Now he's going to be racing here in Lights competition, and the competition's going to be far stiffer, especially with Kieran Liflander back.
Absolutely, and we're going to go ahead and just drop the points here real quick. Kieran Liflander gone the last couple weeks here, or last week, and then also had that issue at IRP and was missing the first week as well, all the way down in 8th, but that does not mean he's the 8th best driver by any means, as he's going to be coming out here strong tonight, up by a couple tenths in practice over Brian Sawyer. But as you can see right there, got Brian Sawyer and Josh Mertz at the top of the driver standings right now. Seems like it's their championship battle here right now as it stands, but don't count out any other guy in this series. to take the fight to them tonight. But definitely Kieran Liflander's the guy to beat for sure when it comes to pace tonight. And moving over to the constructor standings here. We're looking at JC Simsport, of course, Morisette. Joey Morisette won last week. He's here tonight, and he's going to see if he can try to repeat that effort. And say, unfortunately, I don't think he will be able to. Once again, Kieran Liflander back in the fold tonight, but definitely don't count anyone out here.
And it's worth noting that in the Futures race, we saw some of the top drivers running 41s. That seems to be about where we are in the lights as well. 41 is a very good lap time unless you're Kieran Liflander, in which you're going to be at a 45.19 in practice, about 7/10 faster than current points leader Brian Sawyer, who sits on pole. Victor, why don't you take us through a lap here with Kieran Liflander?
Yeah, and as you can see already, he is on it. And say clipping the right hand, the sleeping policeman right to that IRX board. That's exactly where you want to be, getting all of the grip you can. As it looks like he's going to go ahead and pull off here. Not happy with that lap. And so he's going to go ahead and try it again. And we're going to go ahead and jump up to the roof here, see if we can see things a little bit better here. Got to take a really wide line here, get as much speed as you can here, carry it as much as you heard Blake Smith flat out here. Clip the two curbs, over the jump. There you go. And then right to the curbs on either side, and that's exactly where you want to be, to the curb on the right. That's normally where the motorcycle track is at. Now he's got a lap going, and he's on it here through the right-hand hairpin. Keep it as tight as you can to the wall. Almost clipped that wall on the right. I know I just caught a couple people out before, but not going to catch Kieran out. But with that said, here he comes to take his second lap here, because his first he threw away. Beautiful lap so far, and it looks like across the line here through the International Horseshoe, and he goes to the top of 48.98. An incredibly fast time. That is 4/10 faster than second place Brian Sawyer.
Unsurprisingly, Liflander to the top of the board with a sub 41 lap time, which seemingly only he has been able to do at this track. No one else has really been touching that lap, and looks like he's more than satisfied with it.
He's
gonna
done.
head over to the blue
That's
tent
it.
over there.
Yeah, he's gonna go get a cup of Gatorade from the blue tent. Talk to the fans over there or something. I don't know, but
definitely a lot of people awaiting his
him.
autographs for sure. As qualifying is going to come to a conclusion here, we're going to get ready for heat number 1. Let's take a look at your starting grid. It's going to be Kieran Liflander, unsurprisingly, starting up at the front. Joey Morisette, last week's winner, a solid run for him, qualified third. He's going to start second here. Blake Smith, your futures winner, starts third. Robbie Kirtley in fourth, and Dan Corritto will round out your field. Boy, isn't this a star-studded heat right here. This is going to be a good race behind that 20 car, I feel like, Victor.
Yeah, absolutely. Got the futures winner, Blake Smith. He's shown a lot of pace tonight. Third fastest in practice as we get this thing ready to go.
Let's get ready to let the lights drop and go green here for the NASA Rallycross lights. Green flag is out. We are rolling in NASA Rallycross lights for our 6th race of the season. And look at that start by Liflander. Morisette not quite ready to go away just yet, but he's going to tuck in line and let that 20 car pull away.
Yeah, rough start for Blake Smith all the way back to 5th. I think he kind of got caught out on the outside. Kirtley up to 3rd, Corritto up to 4th. But here comes Smith right back.
Smith bouncing back to the back of Corritto, trying to get himself into the feature race tonight. Morisette holds on to that transfer spot. He is a first-time winner, a one-time winner now in the NASA Rallycross Series. A fantastic win for him last week over his team boss, Josh Mertz. It's going to be tough to repeat that again, but showing really good pace tonight is the 85.
Yeah, absolutely showing a lot of good pace right now in the transfer position. Kieran did not take that Joker and somehow still ahead of the 85 and 024 car here. But right now, Morisette in that transfer spot, getting hounded by Kirtley.
Over the sleeping policeman. Kirtley was right on his rear bumper there. That was very tight.
Yeah, and It was a bit of a mistake from both of those guys. Morisette a little bit too close to the curb, currently over-rotating in that corner. Looks cool, but it's not fast, as I said, in the Futures race. It's not what you want to do here.
There's Morisette and Kirtley around the final turn. They're going to have 3 laps to go. Liflander, I mean, he's just in a league of his own so far. 41.048 was his first full lap, and boy, that is one amazing lap time for the 20 car.
And that's a reset track state, I do believe, so that's at least good for at least a 10th or 2 right there. So
we are side by side in the back of the field for 4th.
Yeah,
Blake Smith and Dan Carritto. Carritto gonna clear. Smith not quite done yet. He is all over the back bumper, that 320.
Yeah, he's been hounding him most of the race after that poor start. Hasn't found a way around Carritto yet. Should be taking the Joker right here, and he does. Should release himself to get a little bit of pace here, see if he can get to stay ahead of Carritto. Try to hunt down 85 and 024.
And these two are battling very tightly, so if anything happens, that 098 is waiting in the wings for a mistake from either one of them. It looks like they're going to go side by side nearly here. Side by side, Kirtley looking to do the over-under.
Beautiful.
Great corner for that 024. He's there, down to the inside. Kirtley with the spot for now, but he's going to run a bit wide. I think Morisette's got it back. He does.
Yeah, didn't get a good launch off of the dirt there. Morisette did, wide line. Normally you don't think that's going to be the line to get the launch off, but it was for Morisette there.
Little nudge.
Blake Smith is right there now too.
Final lap here. 3 drivers racing for the final transfer spot.
How aggressive does Kirtley get?
All over Morisette.
Oh, he's using the bumper.
Bumper, and that's going to be a mistake. Blake Smith now the inside. Will Smith have anything for Morisette?
I don't think he does, but great defense by Blake Smith there. Kirtley's going to try to over-under on him, but Smith pulling that e-brake, keeping it nice and tight.
Great move by the 098 to defend that move by Kirtley. Is going to keep himself above water. As we come around the final turn, Kieran Liflander, unsurprisingly, will take heat number 1. Joey Morisette is going to have a chance to fight in the feature tonight. Looks like it's going to be Blake Smith, Dan Carritto, and Robbie Kirtley, who will have to make it through the semifinal. Carritto jokering at the very end there. Kirtley finishes in dead last.
Yeah, great joker strategy right there by Carritto.
And we thought the last heat was star-studded. Well, how about this one? Brian Sawyer starting up front, and he's got J.P. DeFino and Josh Mertz. What a front row that is right there. And Austin Derbyshire will be looking on from behind them. As the lights drop, we are green. Your top 2 in points are both in the same heat, looking to maximize as much as they can. Sawyer with a great start early, and he's going to get out to the lead.
And again, that outside lane not prevailing. Mertz down to 3rd. And he's going to have to find his way around JP DeFino if he wants any chance to make the feature here. As DeFino, with that orange plate, got the blue plate right behind him in Mertz. So, got both plates in this one.
Yeah, and bear in mind, I believe Mertz and Sawyer are tied for the points lead. So they are both wearing blue plates this evening. To denotate they are, well, both the points leaders. So definitely a big race for either one of them.
I believe there was a couple corrections in the points that puts Mertz ahead in the point standings, I do believe. I'm not sure, but I'm trying to look at the standings here. Not sure exactly what's going on with that. I don't know if Brian just forgot his plate tonight or what's going on there.
Oh, yeah, Sawyer does have the blue plate on the car. It looks like on the graphic he also has the blue plate. Mertz does not, although you can see it on his car.
Yeah, it's not on a banner. That's exactly what I was thinking here.
Yeah, so very tight championship battle. If it's up to discussion of who has the blue plate, it means it's a close battle between the two of them. It's going to be a dogfight for them all season. Meanwhile, Liflander is going to have to essentially win almost every race from here on out to even have a chance at it. So very likely it might actually come down to Mertz and Sawyer here for the championship. And right now, Sawyer making the most of it out in front. Mertz not even in a transfer spot.
Yeah, well, this is Brian Sawyer's wheelhouse here. So we've seen his pace all week long be up there in the upper echelon of the lights drivers. 41.8 earlier this week for him You know, that's still miles off of what we see Kieran Liflander running. But with that said, that's still pretty gosh darn good, as he does have the fastest time by a tenth of a second.
Mertz has gotten around JP DeFino while we were watching on with Sawyer. And Mertz into a transfer position.
Yeah, we're going to watch this back. It looks like DeFino might have had an issue here over the jump.
And DeFino will take his Joker. Mertz, however, has yet to either.
That
so
car
Mertz
just did not
will
rotate.
have him on strategy.
Yeah, that car did not rotate for DeFino there in that right-hander coming back up to here. Not exactly sure why it didn't rotate, but I've had that exact thing happen to me before.
And Mertz
so
sends
hard to
it
do.
back down the inside.
Yeah, Mertz
Curious
is try to
that
get
Mertz
it done.
is going for this, being that he still has the Joker to his advantage. He really doesn't have to fight DeFino in this instance.
He doesn't, but I think he just wants to get it on track. A little bit of bragging rights here. Why not?
Yeah, might as well stick it and say, hey, orange plate, I got the blue one.
That's right.
Yeah,
Show
I
him
thank
why
you
he
very
got
much.
the blue one compared to the orange one, right?
Absolutely. There he goes, down through his Joker. You see Sawyer in the background flying right on by. We'll take the white flag this time around. And Sawyer, barring any mistakes, looks primed. As you said, Victor, this is his wheelhouse. He said before the race, this is definitely his track. He feels most confident here. If anything were to happen to Liflander, I would think Sawyer's got a good shot at the checkered flag here.
He certainly does know the way to pick up the pieces when things do go wrong for Brian Slur. So see what he can do here tonight. Definitely on his way to this heat win, barring any mistakes, as you said.
Sawyer will round the final corner and will take the checkered flag for heat number 2. Josh Mertz will also be advancing on to the feature race. JP DeFino and Austin Derbyshire are going to have to race their way in the semifinal. And speaking of which, we now have our semifinal. So let's take a look at your grid for that race. Blake Smith, your Futures feature winner, is going to start at the front of the grid. JP DeFino, Dan Corritto, Austin Derbyshire, and Robbie Kirtley will round out the field. And boy, a disastrous heat race there for the Saints and Sinner squad. All 3 of their cars in the semifinal, meaning at least one of them is guaranteed to go home.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see a little bit of contact off the start there between Smith and Corritto, or actually DeFino, excuse me.
Corritto from the middle line, a fantastic start for the 320. He is going to set himself out in front.
And Smith's going to go ahead and yield there to DeFino. Smart move there by your Futures winner to just give way here for and live another day, as we see Kirtley and Derbyshire getting back into it here.
Great battle between those two, and Smith nearly contacted
yeah, he's hounding
DeFino
here.
Just because he is the team boss does not mean he is immune to getting past. He is definitely all over him, although goes a little wide through that corner. It's going to allow Robbie Kirtley into this battle.
Yeah, I mean, this is really interesting to see what happens here. Oh, Smith thought about jokering, and here comes Kirtley to the inside.
Nudges him to the inside, moves him wide. Kirtley takes the position. It'll be up to third.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of indecision on Blake Smith's part there, and that cost him as Kirtley and Derbyshire into a little bit of contact.
Derbyshire's around and face first into the wall. Looks like Derbyshire got wide, and by the time he corrected it, nowhere to go for the 024 Kirtley.
And here comes
and look at this,
Blake Smith back
coming
on him.
back.
Pulling the e-brake. Can he get the run off? Not quite. Working him over here, though. Trying every move in his arsenal to get back to him.
Kirtley back down the
inside.
Oh,
contact!
They make contact! Kirtley slides through the corner. They're going to make contact again. Boy, these two are all over each other.
Oh, and they're going to make more contact.
Kirtley's going over. Kirtley barrel rolling right in front of the jump and over the wall. He's in the infield.
I have never seen a car flip that many times at Daytona before, besides maybe back in the day with the old NASCAR cars, but nothing like that in Rallycross ever before. So
heartbreaking for Kirtley. Unfortunately, will come just short tonight, making the feature. And that contact, Victor, didn't even look all that bad. Just, I guess, must have hit the car in just the right spot to send it over.
Yeah, and he had that curb there as well, so it just was a victim of circumstances here as JP DeFino while we're talking about everything else going on, he's out to a almost a 2-second lead here over Dan Carrito.
Carrito, I do believe, has yet to take his Joker. He is not, so he's going to have that delta, though it may be pretty close. Defino's been running some really good lap times here.
Yeah, and a big game of what if, a big what if for Blake Smith back here. What if he didn't have that poor start? He might have had a chance to transfer on to the future here as well.
Goes to show you that your whole race get affected by just 1 millisecond late on the gas at the green light there. And that's exactly what happened to the 098 as we come to the final lap this time by.
Looks like Carrito's going to go ahead and take his Joker on the final lap. That's going to be the correct move in my opinion. You know, as we see Blake Smith's putting down a 42.196. That is half a second faster than JP Defino, the guy with the second fastest lap in the race. That is a incredible speed there from Blake Smith, but I don't think it's going to be enough, unfortunately.
He'll come around the final few turns here. Defino will lead, but Carrito's going to hop on down, take his Joker, and claim his victory. Dan Carrito is going to win the semifinal. JP Defino will also be moving on to the feature as well. Unfortunately for Blake Smith, he's going to come up just short here tonight. As you said, a big what if for him. Austin Derbyshire, who ran into trouble, and of course Robbie Kirtley, who we saw barrel rolling quite a couple times into the infield, will unfortunately be sent home as well. With that, our drivers will get ready for warm-ups. We're going to warm up as well. We'll be right back here from Daytona Beach, Florida.
You're so interesting.
I love your browser history.
I like that you're not hiding anything from me.
By the way, nice IP address. I like your neighborhood.
You are so special. This ad is just for you.
I learned so many things from you.
You are so generous.
With your personal data.
Switch on privacy, switch off trackers and viruses. Go to NordVPN.com. NordVPN. Safely be you.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Absolutely be doing what he has to do. He has to go for the championship. He has to recover the points that he lost. He's down the race, takes the lead in the 12. What a move. And he takes the lead and holds
by
it.
side between these two in the turn one. This is going to get spicy.
Turn one, over the jump to begin the first lap, clogging the inside line. McFarland contact between them. They are still side by side. This opens the door for Wetz. He can't make anything happen. Over in the 26, he has not won in quite some time. Dragster acing the entry to turn one, up Betty to the inside. And Magnus gives him a nudge. Grip strip on the inside, Phil. Wetz had a little bit better run, but looks like Rally's going to hold his power.
Welcome back to Daytona Beach, Florida, here at the World Center Racing, Daytona International Speedway for NASA Rallycross Lights Week 6. Getting ready for our feature event. Our drivers are just finishing up their warm-ups now, so while they do, let's get a couple of sponsor plugs. Cameras all season on ASN are brought to you by Whiplash SimCams. Be sure to check them out at facebook.com/WSimCams. Thank you, Andrew Cardinal IV, for your continued camera support. The intro music for the NASA World feed was produced by Alex Abetti. If you like what you see here on the Automotive Sports Network, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our live streams or our short-form video content, courtesy of Jess Rakowski. Be sure to hit the bell as well to be notified every time we go live. We are live every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. If your league's looking to be broadcasted, come check us out. Broadcast with us at asntvusa.com. Let's see what we can do for your league. With that, we'll bring up our programming notes for the rest of the week as well. NASA Rallycross Contenders tomorrow night, round 6 at Daytona. That'll be at 9 p.m. Eastern. You'll have Josh Mertz and Brian Sawyer in the booth for that one. Round 2 of the Torque Sports Car Series takes place this Thursday at Monza. That'll be Thursday evening, 8:30 Eastern. You'll have Josh Mertz and Victor Vallee in the booth for that one. The crown jewel of the NASA Rallycross Series, the Supercars Series, heads to Daytona as well for its 6th round of the season this Saturday afternoon. That'll be at 2 p.m. Eastern. You'll have Josh Mertz and Brian Sawyer for that one. Me and Victor will be right back with you here next Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern and 9 p.m. Eastern respectively for NASA Rallycross Futures and Lights at Crandon.
Cannot wait for Crandon, honestly. Go up to northeast Wisconsin, up there in the boonies basically, way out there where they don't really have too many interstates. It's just all dirt and hills, whatever else is out there. A lot of mud. And I can't wait for that. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, being from Wisconsin, Victor, you have the home track bias.
Well,
ready,
I'm not
ready
from
to get to your home track?
Wisconsin yet. You gotta remember that. I'm not there yet, but one day. One day.
One day, indeed. Definitely a great track up there in the Midwest. Definitely going to be exciting. Well, with that, as we do, as is customary in NASA Rallycross Lights, Victor, who is your pick to finish second place tonight?
Well, we already know who's gonna win as usual, but my pick tonight is Brian Sawyer to finish P2 tonight. This is his wheelhouse. He's probably the guy who's gonna be closest on pace to Kieran Liflander when it comes to tonight, and I think he's gonna get it done in P2. And you know what? I'll give you my P3 as well. I'll give you the full podium rundown. It's going to be Liflander, Sawyer, and then Josh Mertz rounding out your podium in third place.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on the top two there. I'm going to say it's going to be Liflander and Sawyer as is customary. Although I'm going to go with a hot take here. I'm going to say last week's winner, Joey Morissette's going to round out the podium in the 85 car. Coming off of one of his best weeks, had a dominant performance at Atlanta. Looking to live up on that. I think he's got a solid shot at the podium here, starting third on the outside. If he can get a good start here, he might have a very good chance to beat his boss man, Josh Mertz.
Absolutely, but as we've seen all night, Ethan, that outside lane is not where you want to be, and that might cost Joey here. If he cannot get a good start, he might get pushed out wide and be like Blake Smith was in the LCQ, go from third all the way back to fifth, right off of the jump. Don't want to see that.
It's really hard to get that to work.
Yeah.
It really is. Although, we did notice in the semifinal, Dan Carrito did start up there, and he was able to pretty quickly make quick work of everyone and got a really good start. So it's really about the start, I feel like, that you get. So that line does make a difference, but if you could just get a really fantastic start, really rip it around that outside, you might have a shot at getting up towards the front there.
Yeah, certainly. So it all depends on the inside two cars. Are they making contact? If they are, you have a chance to capitalize on that, because everybody behind those top two is going to get stuck behind them, and you might be able to rip right around the outside of them. But it's a high risk, high reward type of starting position, and Joey Morisette, if there's one guy that can do it, it's him.
As it looks like we only have a couple more seconds left of warm-ups here. Getting ready for our feature race here with Kieran Liflander. His gap is a little closer, only 4/10 so far between Liflander and Sawyer in the warm-up, although I imagine during the race that'll probably expand quite a bit.
Yeah, it seems like it's a pretty spread out group right now between Sawyer, Morisette, and Carrito, all 3/10 in between them. And then you have Defina right on the heels of Carrito within 13 thousandths of a second. And then Josh Mertz 8/10 off the pace, and very uncharacteristic performance for him in warm-up, but it is just warm-up, so we'll see how it goes.
All right, with that, let's get our grid for tonight's feature event. Kieran Liflander will start from the front position on the inside. Brian Sawyer and Joey Morisette will join him on the front row. Josh Mertz, Dan Carrito, and JP Defino will make up the remainder of your field. And with that, Victor, one more race to go on the night for all the glory. Green flag, we are racing here, and boy, a little bit of contact there. Look at the start Morisette got on the outside.
Yeah, bad start for Sawyer. Here comes Josh Mertz up to second place on Joey Morisette, and Brian Sawyer from second all the way down to fifth, but he's on the tail of Morisette here. Oh, and Morisette's had a problem.
Off the jump, they're going to make contact.
In the wall,
Sawyer into the wall. Defino around. Carrito with contact and damage.
Yeah, and it looks like Morisette's car is busted. He is done for the night.
And now it's really just Mertz and Liflander up at the front. Mertz now chasing down Kieran Liflander. And boy, remember that points championship? That is a big deal there. Mertz going to get a little bit extra points here, finishing ahead of the 88 car.
Yeah, but don't count Brian Sawyer out yet. Yes, he has a wounded car, but he still can get around this track pretty well, and we've seen Josh have a little bit of a problem as he's
Mertz
gone to the Joker.
Leapfrogged
yeah.
Liflander through the Joker, although quickly gives that up, unfortunately getting a little wide there out of the jump. Liflander right back into position. Almost got Liflander caught in traffic there, which actually would have been a very great thing for Josh Mertz to see.
Yeah, and he was very feisty there trying to keep Liflander behind him, but at the same time, he knows that's not his race. His race is that 88 car right behind him here, who's trying to close in.
And it's not very often you see that 20 car in your mirror. You're usually seeing him in the windshield. It looks like Mertz is going to do that again. It looks like he's going to try to get back out in front of the 20 and try to get him in traffic. As long as he can hit the jump here.
Got him this time.
He does have him. And he's going to be clean over the jump. And now, if you're Kieran Liflander, I'm assuming you Joker this time.
Yeah, just patience here, though, for Kieran. That's all Kieran has to do, is just be patient. You know you're faster than the two. Just take the Joker here. Don't force the issue. And it looks like he's going to try to get to the inside here.
Oh, contact between the two. Mertz saves it on the outside. What a great save from the two car.
Yeah, I'm telling you, don't force the issue here. Don't give yourself any unneeded problems. Mertz going to trap it in
Mertz
deep.
definitely trying to get right on his bumper. They did not like the contact between the two at all.
Not at all. And
No, you know, Liflander did not have to rough him up there. He still has both his jokers. He really didn't need it. So Mertz definitely saying, like, hey, like, why'd you rough me there?
I don't think it was his intention to do that. I think he got the nose in there and just wasn't expecting Mertz to come down like he did. And I don't think Mertz really was expecting it as he was driving it in deep again. Definitely showing his displeasure to Liflander here.
What that's going to open up the door for is the 88 of Brian Sawyer just behind, still with, I believe, one more joker.
Two more.
Everything. He has two more jokers
so
left to take.
He's right there on the threshold of getting back by Mertz here. So that's quite interesting here to see what's going to go on here.
Well, Mertz's two joker laps both came with
he's
controversy.
wide.
The first one went wide, and he's going to go wide again.
Onto it.
Not quite the wallet.
And here comes
Brian. Here comes the 88 of Brian Sawyer right behind an uncharacteristic mistake from the two of Josh Mertz.
Well, he's got red mist going on. I'm sure right now he's angry. He wasn't happy about Kieran doing that to him. And he knows it cost him dearly to Brian Sawyer, and he's trying to make up for it. And you can't make up for it in one lap. Just hit your marks, Josh. You're fine. You're still going to get a podium out of this if you just keep hitting your marks.
And Sawyer ducks down for his first joker, and he will move up into the second position. Now we look back to fourth. Dan Carrito, who is also yet to take jokers. He has a bit of a gap to Mertz. It's about, looks like about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
That might be something he might be able to overcome with his two jokers.
It's going to be close. The delta's about 2 seconds thereabout, so it's going to be interesting to see. Mertz going to send it up the inside.
Look at Mertz up the inside.
Oh, he's not
going to contact.
I don't know about that one. I mean, if you're Mertz here, you know Brian's going to have that joker, so, I mean, I don't even know if that's even a battle in itself there, you know? I know it's the urgency is to get back by him, but you're just going to open yourself up to having Dan Carrito get by both of you here.
Absolutely.
Drive
the more Mertz has been kind of driving like this, Carrito has been eating away at that gap.
Angry and
now down to a 4-second gap, which is right on the money for that delta with his two jokers that he's yet to take.
Now it's down to 3 seconds.
Now down to 3 seconds. He's likely going to get him if he plays his cards right.
Yeah, Josh just needs to start, you know, focusing on hitting his marks. You're driving angry. Don't do that, man, you know? It's not what you need here. Just focus on hitting your marks. You got to build that gap back up to Carrito if you want this podium.
Absolutely needs to put down some of the best laps he's run just to keep that 320 car behind him. Carrito opting to wait here. We're going to come to 3 to go this time by. 2 jokers need to be taken by that 320 car. So he's definitely going to have to take a joker, likely this time or next time by at least, and then probably use his last joker on the final lap to spring by the 2 car.
Yeah, and I think Mertz overdrove that corner again just a little bit, I do believe. I'm not sure. Looked like the pace was a little bit further down there. But he's back on good pace here. Up 3/10 for Josh Mertz on his fast time. So he's starting to get his head back right. And that's what he needs to do here.
You see the broken number 85 JC Simsport car of Morisette in pit road after that lap 1 incident. Carrito is going to take his first joker this time by, and now has his sights set on Josh Mertz. Is he going to take it this time around, or is he going to opt to wait for the last lap to get Josh Mertz by surprise?
If I'm Carrito here, I think I have to take it this lap. I think the urgency is key here. Get Mertz on the surprise here. I know you have Mertz driving angry, and you're taking a risk, but at the same time, Mertz is driving away here. You gotta do something.
As Liflander will come around, take the white flag this time by. As he takes his first joker, he'll take his second one as well. Carrito opts not to joker this time by. He is going to wait to the final lap. We'll see if that strategy is going to prove for him. The delta, it is mighty close. Maybe about 1.5 seconds. It's, oh boy, it's going to be tight here at the line.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is gonna be Carrito's podium if he can just hang on with the pace he's got right now. 1.5 seconds back of Josh Mertz. I think this is
at the
all
front,
Carrito's.
Kieran Liflander takes his joker, will round the final turn. Kieran Liflander, a winner here in Daytona. Brian Sawyer will round out in second. Now let's keep our eyes on Dan Carrito. Is he going to get around Josh Mertz?
I think he's got it here.
I think he's got it here. Dan Carrito will round out the podium this evening with Liflander in first, Sawyer second, and Carrito third. Josh Mertz just barely missing the podium.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that contact was what cost him the podium there, unfortunately. So, heartbreaking for Josh, but he's definitely got next week at Crandon to look forward to as well.
Definitely. A race like that, it's one to forget. He's going to move on from this one. Great run once again for Liflander. Looked pretty much alien all evening. Brian Sawyer finished exactly where we had, although neither of us had Dan Carrito making the podium.
Yeah,
so that is a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, give credit where credit is due. Dan Carrito drove a great race to finish third. A very quiet race. Didn't have too much contact there. Had a little bit of an issue off the start, but kept his head down and got the job done to get a podium.
Yes, great run for the 320 of Dan Carrito. I believe, if I remember correctly, that is his first podium this season.
I believe so. I think you are correct in that.
I believe it is. Currently sits at 0 podiums currently, so this is his first one of his career. Great run there for the 320.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to see if we can get him up to the media pen along with, looks like we already got Kieran Liflander in there, but we'll see if we can bring Dan Carrito in here right now.
Dan, this is Ethan and Josh Ethan and Victor in the ASF booth. You got us?
Oh, I got you.
Well, Dan, your first ever podium in NASA Rallycross Lights must feel pretty good. Take us through your race as a whole. A great strategy you played there at the end to be able to get Josh Mertz right with the final joker.
Yeah, I got into Joey a little bit when he was spinning. I think when him and Sawyer got into it, we just tapped each other, and I had wheel damage from then. So I knew I wasn't really going to have much pace, but I don't know what happened to Josh. I saw him lose time, and then he didn't seem to have pace after that. So I just kind of played the strategy there. So I was like 4.5 seconds away from him with both my jokers to go. So I waited and took my first one when I was like 3.1 behind him, and that put me about a second and a half or so. So I knew from then on that once I took my second joker, I'd get him.
And indeed, you got him there by a decent margin as well. I know Josh ran into a lot of trouble during the race, a lot of contact he was making with other drivers. David, how it feels to finally get on a step of the podium here at NASA Rallycross Lights, your first one.
Oh, it feels good. I absolutely blew my opportunity on week 1 when Josh and Kieran weren't here. And I knew from then on that it was going to be tough to get anywhere near third or higher. So it feels really good to actually be here in what I called an official one once we finished.
Now, Victor, you have any questions for our third place finisher tonight?
Yeah, Dan. I do know you were talking about the damage you got from the spinning Julie Morisette car. So it definitely puts you behind the 8 ball there. And I said after the race, you just kind of put your head down and just logged laps, and you were able to come away with the podium. Was there anything else, like you just kind of have to put yourself back in that mindset after that happens? So talk me through that.
Yeah, you just got to kind of feel out the car, how it's going to handle after that. Thankfully, it said I had wheel damage. The wheel was slightly cocked to the left, and I could feel it dragging. I don't know to what extent I had damage, but it was very minor, but enough to be a nuisance. But yeah, like you said, you just got to put your head down, kind of get used to how it's going to be driving. As long as it's not too bad, you can kind of accommodate for it. Couple times over the jump, just had a hard time landing and got a little slippery, but not all. Ended up pretty good.
Yeah, solid run for you this evening, Dan. Who do you have to thank for your third place finish here tonight?
I'd like to thank TWRS. They make amazing setups for us. Thanks Saints and Sinners Racing. Thank my family and girlfriend. Thank you guys every week.
Well, thank you for coming up here, Dan. We hope to see you next Sunday for Lights as well. Hope to see you on the podium once again.
Yep. Yeah. Actually, you'll see me Thursday too.
Yes, and Thursday. I'm definitely looking forward to that myself. All right,
Yeah,
well, we will
yeah.
see you. We'll see you soon, Dan.
Have a good one, guys.
You as well. That's our third place finisher, Dan Critta. With that, we're going to bring our second place finisher, Brian Sawyer, up to the ASM booth.
Pip at the end.
Brian, this is Ethan and Victor in the ASM booth. You got us?
Hey guys, how you doing?
We're doing well. Looked like a relatively quiet race for you up there, finishing second. When me and Victor were making our top 3 predictions before the race, we both had you finishing exactly where you did in second place. We know this is definitely one of your crown tracks, definitely one you're quick on. Take me through your race as a whole and where you usually find the speed here at Daytona.
That was a weird one. I mean, it was quiet, but it was weird. I got a terrible start. The track was a lot hotter than I was expecting. I fell to 4th really quick. Joey and I touched a little bit, had an incident, got pushed off the side off the jump, and then I don't know what Josh was doing that race. I mean, he decided to joker twice and then battle Liflander, and I was for sure I was going to come in 3rd or 4th because I was like, okay, well, Josh and Liflander are in front of me. And I'm like, why is Josh battling him? He's just losing time to a guy that hasn't jokered yet, and it made it pretty easy just to run clean laps. I find a lot of speed in the jump area. You practice it enough, and you build a setup for it. It's pretty straightforward. You go over the jump, touch the brake, you land straight, and you keep driving. Yeah.
I know that jump has gotten a lot of people tonight. Seemingly you took it pretty well. And that was actually going to be my next question, was going to be, I know you and Josh had a little run in there almost in the banking section over there by the grandstands. Take me through that, because I know you were questioning Josh's strategy as well, battling not only Liflander, but he was also seemingly kind of battling you a little bit as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I understand. Yeah, he's trying to peek in. But I mean, I feel like once you try and peek in and it's clear that like you're not getting that pass, back out and stop trying to take everybody out there, because it's just only going to end in heartbreak for both drivers. But I'm like, I don't know what you're doing. I got another joker to run, and I'm up a second a lap here, so we're cruising.
With that, Victor, you have any questions for our second place finisher tonight?
Man, I wish I did, but you kind of stole my question about Josh there, so I'll just steal your question about
to be fair, I don't know why I was so heated right there. I know the viewers could not hear what I said, but I don't know why I was that heated in that moment.
Yeah, no, definitely. But do you have anyone? Who do you have to thank for this result tonight, Brian?
I'm gonna thank my wife, my dogs, my family. If you're down in Florida and you're about to get hit by that hurricane, be prepared. Don't let a storm named Melvin take you out. That's all I got, guys. Oh, my teammates, Tom and Eric. Gotta thank Tom's mom and Eric's mom. Thanks, Eric's mom, for watching. One of our most faithful viewers. But that's it, guys.
All right, well, thank you, Brian. We hope to see you next week here in Crandon.
All right. It's going to be a strong one for us, guys. Have a good night.
You as well. That was our second place finisher, Brian Sawyer. I don't see Liflander here in the media pen.
We did see him for a minute, and it looks like he's down in the Discord down with Saints and Sinners right now. I don't want to pull him up, but at the same time, I think I'm just gonna do it just because I want to get the show on the road here. Sorry, Kieran. If you're watching this after
he does run with the Saints and Sinners crew for the Torque GT series on
So I know
Thursday,
he was probably just showing them some lines or something, but we're gonna go ahead and just pull him in real quick so he can get back to doing that in just a moment here.
Perfect. All right. Well, Kieran, this is Ethan and Victor in the ASM booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Well, we're sorry for interrupting you. I know you were looked like you were doing something down in the Discord with the Saints and Sinners guys, but we just want to pull you up to congratulate you on your win. I believe that was your third this season. Take me through your win. It looks like a pretty simple race for you. Pretty much had quite a run out front, and I know you had quite a bit of battling with Josh Mertz as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm gonna say it openly. I do not understand. That's 2 seasons in a row where he's done it, or he's done that strategy where he's taken them both in the first 2 laps. Obviously, last season was a bit different. I got shuffled around 4th and 5th place, made my moves, and ended up getting past him. And this season, we had less cars, and I had more leeway to work with, but didn't have the best start, and messed up in turns 3 and 4 in lap 1, and it caused him to get out front. And yeah, I mean, regardless, whoever you are, I'm gonna be aggressive no matter what. So I made my moves quickly, and yeah, I was able to stay consistent right after that and have clean air.
Yeah, and that's something that I think what would go through my head and Josh's strategy there was kind of trying to rob you of your clean air. I know the first time he kind of had a rough jump and you were able to get right by, but second time you guys made an awful lot of contact there. This second time, just take me through, again, kind of what goes through your head as you're battling someone you have 2 of your jokers still left and he's taking both.
Yeah, it's just really, I know Brian is a decent way behind me, and he was about 4.5 seconds back the first lap, and then it cut down to about 5/10 the second lap, and it was I wasn't too worried. I knew the delta to have from me to Brian, and all I knew is I had to get past Josh first, and I know the way to get past Josh is just faking. A lot of faking sends, and it fortunately got me to get past him with a little bit of contact and spin him out, thankfully. And yeah, I mean, I get like you said, a lot of contact, no damage whatsoever to anybody, thank God. And yeah, again, just had to have the Joker optimal time and distance to Brian. And yeah, I was kind of hoping Brian wouldn't finish in second because the championship, but good for him finishing second. And yeah, it was a lot of fun racing Josh though for that time being, and yeah, really happy to get this one.
Absolutely. Well, Victor, you have any questions for our race winner tonight?
Yeah, Kieran, I do know Brian was talking about it on the start. He said the track temperature is a little bit hotter than he expected. That's kind of why he had the bad start. Did the track temperature affect you at all on that start as well? Did that catch you out as well?
Made a couple adjustments with the guys and to the car. Just be able to grip a little bit better with it being 100+ degrees on the track. It's the same thing last season, but everybody had a fix set, so everybody had the same feeling. But everybody having a different feel. It's a preference thing, and not many people change their setups from qualifying to heat and feature, except for the fuel level. But for me, it's a bit different, and especially with Austin, he's learning. But yeah, I did change a couple things for the track temp, and because I know with it being 78 degrees in qualifying, and then sim time 5 hours later or whatever it was, 3 hours later, it's gonna be hell of a lot hotter and almost as accurate as hell. So yes, made some adjustments, but didn't really affect me in terms of the jump. I just had a bit of a late reaction to the green light, but nonetheless still came home with the win and got out front.
And another great run for you there, Kieran. Who do you have to thank for your third win of the season?
I'd like to thank everybody at KLR, mom, dad, girlfriend, all the support from friends. Been talking to some IRL drivers. I've spoken with Travis Pastrana pretty recently, and again, support from him. Been telling him about what I do and all that stuff. So appreciate him for the support. And yeah, really happy to be tied with Josh Klog in the modern era for lights and wins, tied for first. Hope to get the win next week at Crandon. It's gonna be really tough against against Brian and Tom Grady's team. And as last season, Crandon Short, it was a bit rough. So hoping to come out on top this time, and yeah, just get the wins the rest of the season and be there at the end in the championship.
Absolutely. It's going to be a tough road for you to come back in this championship, but if anyone's going to be able to do it, it's certainly going to be able to be you. With that, Kieran, we look forward to seeing you next week in lights, and hey, maybe we'll see you in the booth on Thursday, maybe at Monza, but we'll see.
Yes, sir. Gotta fly over there and get some practice laps there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we will see you next week, Kieran.
Appreciate it.
All right, and that was our race winner, Kieran Liflander. All right, well, with that, Josh, jeez, I don't know why I call you Josh.
You know who I am.
We're getting to the end of the night here. Well, let's wrap this up before I call you Josh again. Kieran is on all season on AS Center, brought to you by Whiplash SimCams. If Be sure to check them out at facebook.com/WSimCams. Thank you, Andrew Cardinal IV, for your continued camera support. The intro music for the NASA World feed was produced by Alex Abetti. If you like what you see here on the Automo Sports Network, be sure to like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss any of our live streams or our short-form video content courtesy of Jess Rakowski. Be sure to hit the bell as well to make sure you're notified of all of our videos. We go live every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. We'll pull up our remaining schedule for the week as well here on ASN. NASA Rallycross Contenders is next on ASN. That's tomorrow evening, 9 p.m. Eastern, round 6 here at Daytona. You'll have Josh Mertz and Brian Sawyer in the booth for that one. Excuse me, no, not Josh Mertz. You're going to have Justin Robichaux and Brian Sawyer in the booth for that one. Torque Sports Car Series, round 2 at Monza, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. That is this Thursday. You're going to see Josh Mertz and Victor Vallee in the booth for that one. The crown jewel of the NASA Rallycross Series, NASA Rallycross Supercars, round 6 at Daytona. That is this Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern. You'll have Josh Mertz and Brian Sawyer in the booth for that one. And lastly, we will be back with you here, NASA Rallycross Futures and Lights, next Sunday, 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern respectively. At Crandon, you'll have myself and Victor Vallee in the booth for that race. And I believe this is the updated driver standings as they stand. Brian Sawyer goes back to having the blue plate full time. Now he will be a couple points ahead of Josh Mertz. Kieran Liflander leapfrogs all the way from 8th in the standings all the way up to 3rd with his win. Definitely a manageable gap there to Sawyer. With a couple more wins this season, he'll have a very good shot at getting the title there. Corritto, Morisette, Kirtley, Devin Hughes, who wasn't here tonight, Austin Derbyshire, JP DeFino, and Eric Kaplinger round out your top 10 in standings. Constructors look like this. JC Simsport up at the front, passing move over at speed time quite convincingly. They sit in 2nd. Saints and Sinners now in 3rd. Kieran Liflander Racing, which is Kieran Liflander, in 4th. You have No Control Esports, Saints and Sinners Racing Speed Bumps, Slaypex Racing, JC Academy, Turtle Motorsport, rounding out your constructor standings. And with that, we'll get your final thoughts on the evening here, Victor. Quite an eventful night we had. Take me through your thoughts and everything that we had here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it was an incredible night of racing. A lot of chaos. Not as much chaos as we've seen in the past, which is kind of surprising for a track like Daytona with its tiny, small confines. You would think we'd have a little bit more chaos than we saw tonight, but at the same time, still the same amount of drama as usual, and that's what we come to expect on Sunday nights, isn't it?
Absolutely. Chaos has definitely ridden true here in the NASA Rallycross Futures and Lights on Sundays. It's been quite eventful, but now the quest is on for Kieran Liflander, not only for the championship, but as he said in his interview, also the all-time wins category that he's competing for as well. Currently, Josh Klog holds the all-time record at 8 wins. Liflander, a couple behind that, but he's going to be looking to surpass him pretty soon, and I suspect with his performances as of late, he'll be quite clear of Klog by the time the season's over. And with that, we'll get everything wrapped up here on the Automo Sports Network. The checkered flag has fallen on the evening. From all of us at the Automo Sports Network, from Jess Rakowski, Justin Robichaux, Cody Erdman, Josh Mertz, Brian Sawyer, and Victor Vallee, my name is Ethan Halsey. We hope you enjoyed tonight's coverage of the NASA Rallycross Lights and Futures from Daytona. We congratulate our winners, Blake Smith and Kieran Liflander, and be sure to join us next week in Crandon. Until then, so long everyone.